They chose to have their social lives. You keep circumventing the culpability here, and you keep wanting to put it on me, and you are wrong.
No, listen.
Dead wrong.
This goes beyond you saying, well, we're an alcoholic family and we're shoving everything. It goes beyond that.
Angry over this entire experience.
And I'm not allowed to.
The lack of loyalty, the lack of trust, the lies, the gaslighting.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. It was 2010. The very first episode aired in the fall of 2010 of a family from Utah named the Kody Brown family, or Kody Brown and his sister wives. And at the time, their 12 children with their 13th on the way and a courting girlfriend that was bringing in 3 of her own children. And the family was introduced on a pilot episode, and then on the second episode, we met a woman named Robin.
I like marriage, and I'm a repeat offender, so. This is Janelle. We don't really use an order, but you know, if you're questioning the order of how family came together, she's number 2. How was your day?
Very good.
My day was really quite nice.
Good.
Should we introduce her?
Yes.
This is truly our little girl, soon to come.
Contrary to popular belief, Robin was always a part of the series and always a part of the show. And the family has been on television for 14 years. The show was the brainchild of a man named Tim Gibbons, who was a videographer that had worked in local media at different news outlets and was going into the private sector and approached this group called Principal Voices about the possibility of making a show or a documentary on a family that's in the world of polygamy. There was peak interest in this world at this time because Warren Jeffs had just been arrested, and there was all of these court cases happening in Texas and in Utah related to the FLDS. There was also a humongous campaign by pro-polygamous advocates, including Christine Brown and a group called Principal Voices that used women to be the mouthpiece of choice and of the benefits of plural marriage, and that women wanted this. And that it wasn't like Warren Jeffs. And their entire propaganda was to convince the public that there was choice, that there was no patriarchy, and that women wanted to do this. And that they had the choice of who they were going to marry and when they were going to marry, and if they wanted to leave, they could leave. These were some of the foundations of the show. Kody was hired along with Christine because Christine was working with Principal Voices. So when the family was picked to go public with TLC, they already had a plan in place. The goal of Sister Wives was for the family to go public to try to normalize and make polygamy look modern. But really it was just a propaganda machine with the goal of trying to legalize or decriminalize the practice in the state of Utah so that Kody could pretend like he was someone that had his rights being trampled on and that he had no civil rights to break the law. Yes. Now here we are, it is 2024, and things have changed dramatically. The family is split up. Kody only has one wife. Kody has gone on podcasts and has said that he isn't sure what he believes, although he's not willing to throw out his belief system entirely. He also has at times been very critical of the show and blaming the show for some of the problems in the family.
Having an experience, let's say me and a wife would have an experience, or even me and one of my kids would have an experience that's being filmed, and then we'd have to talk about it later, and then we'd have to talk about it again, and then it'd be used as either potentially a rerun or a flashback or something like that. And something that you would probably forget was said and that happened was in your face 4 or 5 times and put it into your memory. And as a result, led to possibly some challenges.
Family members became notorious with using their time on the couch where producers would ask them questions from fans or just questions about what they were watching as they watched back the show that they had edited, which then became a place where they would vent and gripe about one another, but they would say these things to a camera and not to each other's faces. So when a show aired, it sometimes would be the first time one of the family members would actually hear a complaint from another family member about how they were feeling.
I've only said it a couple times. If you're not happy here, you can leave. I didn't expect that you're not happy here would mean you're going to leave. I don't understand it at all unless there's some guy she wants to date there or she wants to get away from me so that my stink isn't on her so she can date. Everything was great at being willing to mother Janelle's kids, okay? But she was never willing to mother or be a good mother to Robin's kids. Christine asked to be in the family, Janelle asked to be in the family. And basically I said, if you want to be in the family, then you have to understand, I need you to run your will to mine. Are you okay with that? Because I'm going to be the head of the family. And they're like, yeah, pick me. Man, just the knife in the kidneys over all these years. Sacrifices that I made to love you. Wasted.
That made it so it appeared as what Kody would call trash talking would begin on the show, where Kody would start yelling about his gripes about the family, and then the wives would start complaining about their gripes with Kody, and then the kids would start complaining. And then as the show devolved, it turned into a situation where Kody became so angry with his lack of control over the family and losing control that he turned into an abusive monster, a verbally abusive monster that used the show to yell and scream at his wives and his family.
All of you are just kind of jerks. I don't want to be around you, and I'm tired of it. And I don't want to call them, and I don't want to talk to them. You know what? Everybody put the on me.
No.
And then when I finally get sick from COVID, that was a death-like experience. I have a life with Robin and her children. And right now, that's really, I'm okay with that. What partnership do we have?
This is not only me, Kody. Don't you dare point your finger at me.
Well, I should just be the devil I think I am now.
Season 18, we saw the demise, the complete and utter destruction of the Brown family, with not only Christine leaving, but also followed by Janelle and then Mary. None of the wives left. It left only Robin and Kody lost his ever-loving mind. He was in fine form and spent the better part of the entire season yelling and screaming about Janelle, about his boys, and he took a lot of aim at his two sons, Garrison and Gabriel. Throughout seasons 16, 17, and 18, Kody used a storyline revolving around Garrison and Gabriel and their social lives and not obeying his COVID rules as a reason for why his marriage was breaking down with Janelle. He consistently would yell and scream at her about the boys, and at several points, actually in this, he would use words like, "We're an alcoholic family that sweeps things under the rug."
Welcome.
I never said my kids weren't welcome.
If they apologize and they're kind of
No. I completely reversed that. I said, all we've got to do is be able to have a conversation so we're not sitting here in our house like a bunch of alcoholics that had a fight last night and forgot it happened.
This was brought up multiple times in fights. Janelle even said it during their big fight when Kody was yelling at her and she said, "You said to me you didn't want to be an alcoholic family and sweep it under the rug," where they forget about things the next day. Alcohol has been a big problem in the family, although we only know about one family member, and that's Garrison, who struggled with alcohol addiction to alcohol in the months leading up to his untimely death. And with so much energy and so much vitriol going towards Garrison and Gabriel, the mental health of the boys began to suffer. And Janelle stated on this past season that she was worried about her boys due to the estrangement with Kody. So finally, we get to the end of the season and we have Christine and David get married, and the family appears to be on a happy arc. Everything is better now, except it wasn't. And on March 5th, 2024, we learned about the death of Garrison Brown, where he took his own life. Now, taking your own life can be the result of mental illness. It can also be the result of a lot of different facets, from bullying to loss of relationships to dealing with problems where you can't seem to find a solution to get out of it. And his family members told police he was dealing with addiction to alcohol along with depression. He was managing an estrangement from his father and having difficulties with his girlfriend. Fans are livid. And obviously, because for season after season after season, Kody has been yelling and screaming at his kids and at his wives, they want the show canceled. So something very interesting happened at the end of season 18. On January 16th, there was an update made to the production company. The production company that made Sister Wives, which was originally owned and operated by two men, Christopher Poole out of California, an executive producer and founder of this project and the person that brought this show to fruition, Tim Gibbons. On January 18th, 2024, after being a company for 14 years, Timothy Gibbons was removed as a member of this organization, and the entire company of Puddle Monkey Productions, which makes Sister Wives, was under the name of Christopher Poole and Christopher Poole's production company. Tim Gibbons, who has served as not only the executive producer, but also a director of the show and main person that interviewed the family on the couch, picked up and left and moved to Connecticut with his family. Within a day or so of Garrison taking his own life, Puddle Monkey Productions website goes down. And as of today, when you go to Google to search Puddle Monkey Productions, the company says it's permanently closed. In the span of one season, at the end of season 18, the main producer and the executive producer and person that brought this project to the network left the company, left the production company, and moved to Connecticut. Tim Gibbons, his departure has not been announced by TLC. It's not been announced by Puddle Monkey. And today, if you go to Puddle Monkey, you can't even find him on the website because their website doesn't exist. Executive producer Christopher Poole, who on his Facebook page or Facebook profile consistently will share the new clips from the upcoming season or the upcoming episodes. In September, for instance, he promoted the big fight between Kody and Janelle and would share clips to the sneak peeks of each of the episodes. Well, interestingly, it was in October where he shared a video of a guy on a boat. So it's like back in the day, it's supposed to be the 1700s. And the boat is being completely blown up. And the video says, "Me, I'm going to be positive today at work." And the entire work is blowing up. Everything around it is being destroyed. They're being bombed by cannons. And he is trying his best to stay in one piece. An indication that things within the family and within the production company were probably a mess, giving us a sign of what was to come. As the show unraveled and as everything happens in March, Christopher goes to Mexico with his daughter. 5 days ago, he posts a photo of him swimming with pregnant manatees. Interestingly, although he has been keen to share all of the happenings of everything that goes on with Sister Wives, has been completely silent and has made no comments about Garrison's passing. An indication of his mind as a producer, when the season teaser came out, he shared on July 13th, "Big drama on Sister Wives. Click to watch the 2-minute teaser." When a family's complete destruction and a spiral by a man into evilness, which is what I would call what Kody has been doing, and where he verbally abuses, financially abuses, and harms his kids and his wives on a show, Christopher views this as big drama and consistently is congratulated because, why? Because this is his job and this is what he's doing. Another tagline, if you're thinking about watching Sister Wives this season, there's an explosive episode on Sunday night. Kody and Janelle have their biggest fight ever. Fights and breakdowns in marriages are taglines and promotion for a production company and an executive producer. Breakdowns in a family and a marriage are applauded and given accolades to an executive producer because he still has a job after all of these seasons. So my question is, Why did Puddle Monkey suddenly close their website? Why, at the end of season 18, did Tim Gibbons leave the company? Why is now the company under Puddle Monkey being only under Christopher Poole? Why is the person that founded this and created this series gone? And why are all of the executive producers saying nothing? Tim Gibbons' social media is gone. His wife still has a public presence and still has a public-facing Facebook. She has said nothing as well. That isn't to say that other people that have been on the show and that have worked have not said things. There have been crew members that have said things. One of their cameramen, Doug, has been in comments on the various people on their Instagrams. Someone that worked in editing put up a post on Facebook about Garrison's passing. So it's not for a lack of wanting to express their condolences or wanting to be public. Crew members have been public and have said openly on Instagram and on Facebook, sending their condolences. But the two men leading the charge have said nothing. And now the production company's website is down. It's listed as permanently closed, and Tim Gibbons is gone. Tim Gibbons and Christopher Poole are both politically liberal, which is interesting because generally people in the liberal demographic are not as keen to highlight or promote an anti-government extremist group like polygamy, but he had been swallowed up by the propaganda in Utah, believing that polygamy was not just about Warren Jeffs and it wasn't just all bad. He wanted to meet many people and show the true side. It said Tim had personally met many polygamous men and women in the U.S. as well as developing countries around the world. And the idea grew that there was much more complicated and compelling story than what was being reported by the national media. You know, that polygamy was bad, child brides, trafficking, labor trafficking, exploitation, subjugation of women, studies by the UN that show it's violence against women and that it's detrimental to society. But he wanted to show the other side. He was being swallowed by propaganda. It says, the first step was to approach the fundamentalist Mormon community and the religious group in the U.S. most well known for the practice of polygamy. He started by contacting Ann Wild at Principal Voices, an informal, non-denominational fundamentalist Mormon media relations organization. Meeting Ann at her home, Tim outlined his vision of a reality series focused solely on the everyday struggles of a typical polygamist family. The idea of the series was not to create a debate on whether polygamy was right or wrong, but to simply document a polygamist family and let the viewers decide for themselves what they thought of the lifestyle. Tim explained to Anne that there would be no experts who would comment on the show, nor would there be opposing viewpoints explored. It was propaganda, 100% propaganda. He didn't want to show any truth, only what the family would show. It would be produced in the same genre as the highly successful large family shows seen on TLC and other networks, and he reinforced that the primary goal was to intimately document the daily lives of one family, and by doing so, create a window into a lifestyle and a faith that had never been documented before. Tim believed that he knew better than everyone else. He knew better than the UN. He knew better than the federal government. He knew better than all the data, statistics, and evidence from law enforcement and from legal cases, that he knew better than everyone else. And he was going to show everyone that polygamy wasn't like what we thought it was. But he was too arrogant to see the truth, or he truly believed he knew better. Because this is what he wrote also. In the fall of 2010, 7 episodes airs, and viewers across the country were astounded to see 3 intelligent and independent women all married to an unexpectedly charming polygamous man. Blew the doors off the stereotypes that America had been led to believe that about this lifestyle. And the series was a critical success before even the first episode aired. The 7-part first season followed the introduction of a 4th wife, a single mom with 3 children of her own, into the already sizable Brown family. Sister Wives was an instant rating success. On the day of its premiere, Sister Wives was the 3rd highest rated show of all cable television. And the show continued to grow with even higher ratings for this first season finale featuring the wedding day of the 4th wife. The extraordinary success of subsequent seasons across the succeeding 9 years proves that audiences have fallen in love with this amazing family and that the show continues to entertain and enlighten, far beyond any initial fascination with a titillating lifestyle. Christopher and Tim are proud to produce Sister Wives, a show that they strongly believe is both entertaining and socially relevant. They believed that what they were doing was proving everyone wrong. The arrogance, the utter arrogance in these producers to think that this was going to be anything more than what it was, or that everyone else got it wrong, is astounding. The narcissism in these two men to believe that every expert out there was wrong and they were right is disgusting, because after 18 seasons, it's proven that they were wrong. This show has proven to everyone that all of the stereotypes are true. The women were not independent. They were not financially independent. Kody was not charming. He was superficially charming. The children were not well adjusted. They were neglected and abused. The kids are dealing right now with being shunned and ridiculed and abused by their father. One of their siblings has died by suicide. They abused the welfare system while the show was airing. They had all filed for bankruptcy. They had committed welfare fraud. They had committed bankruptcy fraud. But the show didn't show you any of that. So how would you even know that the stereotypes weren't true? Because they didn't tell you what the stereotypes were. They lied on the show. They said that they weren't doing those things. They didn't show you the racism. They didn't show you the arranged marriages that now Kody is admitting happened. He's admitting that he married women for clout, that he married Christine for her blue blood, that he didn't really love them when he got married. He has said there was no choice because it was coercive. He said that in an interview this year. How can it be a choice when your heaven and eternity is on the line? He said a woman would have to be browbeaten to go into this system.
You went to a bunch of men in a priesthood meeting or something and said, hey, boys, we need all of you to have 3 wives. Some of these guys, because their Christian disposition, is going to go, no, rant and rave, horror, terror, this is terrible. And then you'll have half the guys go, sign me up. You have to browbeat a woman into believing that, I think. Unless she's looking at this guy that she's digging on and she's like, yeah, he's already married, but I'd like to marry him too.
Kody has admitted that he lied, that all of this was a lie. Christine has blown the lid on all of it and said it was all a lie. And now when the going gets tough and the tough gets going, Tim Gibbons is out. Because why? I'm sure he's got egg on his face. I mean, he made a lot of money. He became a millionaire off this show. But at what cost? He thinks this show was socially relevant. The show was exploitative, and it gave a narcissistic and abuser a platform to abuse his family financially, mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. And it allowed this psychological narcissistic abuser to abuse his 2 sons for 3 seasons, and one of those sons died by suicide 2 weeks ago. We can't say that the bullying is the reason why he died, but we know that bullying contributes to feelings of loss, of hopelessness, feeling isolated, feeling self-esteem being degraded and beat down. He proved that he was wrong. Tim was wrong. And now Tim is gone. And now Puddle Monkey's website is gone. You'll only find it on web archives, probably because, I don't know, they're ashamed, in my opinion. So what's going to happen with the show if Puddle Monkey's gone? Figure 8 Films is the one that produces it in conjunction for TLC, but they're not the ones that are on the ground every day with the show. The show is primarily Puddle Monkey. So how does the show move forward? Is it going to be canceled? I reached out to Christopher Poole to see, and I asked him, why is your website down? Why is Tim Gibbons removed? Are you canceling the show? And I asked him what his thoughts were about the death of Garrison and fans being outraged about how last season Kody was bullying his sons and now Garrison has died. He has not responded to my comment at the time of this video. The show might not go on. The production company has gone silent. And does that mean the show will finally end? I don't know. But in another video later this week, we're going to talk about possibilities of lawsuits that the family could actually take against TLC and the production company for wrongful death. All right, you guys, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this topic. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye, guys.